Why have I become emotionless after Dark Night of the Soul? As humans, we're emotional beings. We feel the need to connect with people, care, and love. Not just ourselves, but the people we have around us too, because it's wired deep into us. Though we can make mistakes, get jealous, and do all sorts of things because our minds are clouded by emotions. With time, we gain control over what we feel and manage our actions better. So, stating that emotion is one of the feelings that make us human or flawed, in a way, won't be wrong. Because it makes you connect to a lot of things that might not be necessary for yourself, or even partners that have grown to be manipulative and are harming you. Hence, being emotional might be the reason why you get stuck and are attracted to the things of the physical world, which don't really matter to our spiritual beings, like power, money, drugs, and so on. So, if the dark night of the soul descends into your life, and you get to learn a lot of things about your behavior, emotions, or even while still reflecting, you might develop a kind of insensitivity towards emotional feelings. This is because there are a lot of things that go on in the dark night of the soul. In this video, we'll discuss some of them, so you get to understand why you get to feel you've become emotionless after your dark night of the soul. Pain is a part of growth. It often helps direct our life experience. Things to avoid and things to venture into are all directed by the pain or pleasure we felt doing it. And when it's pain, we tend to learn from it and try to caution ourselves from such actions in our course of life. Hence, there are times you'll need a touch of pain to learn and advance to the next level of your life. Being that most of the things you are to do are predetermined in the spiritual world. If you seem to be losing your path and need to be brought back into what you're meant to be, especially if it's a spiritual need, the dark night of the soul is usually the type of pain you'll experience. As we mentioned pain, it's not like that of cutting someone's arm off or placing your hands under a hot iron. No, it's much more like regretful pain. The pain you feel understanding the need for the things you were to do that you've been avoiding. The merits you would have had in doing them, and what it has cost you because you avoided them. Apart from this, there can be other tribulations of mental pain you can feel during the dark night of the soul, or you can just be sullen. So, in more simple terms, the dark night of the soul is a reflective dark era that can descend upon you when there's a need to correct your path and draw you back to the necessary things you need to know about. Not just your life, but spirituality too. After this dark night of the soul, we are ushered into an awakening, which might be accompanied by the feeling of being emotionless. But it also depends on the lesson you were to learn from the dark night of the soul. Hence, you can start feeling emotionless even while still passing through your spiritual awakening stages. As we mentioned before, other stages of spiritual awakening succeed the dark night of the soul. Also, a moment of awareness where a lot of things start getting clearer to you, your spiritual expectations, your flaws you need to work on, and so on. Because your soul has naturally evolved, expanded, and matured, there might be things of the physical world that won't seem to matter as they used to. It can vary with activities, or maybe inner feelings. Some get to lose touch with the games they choose as their favorite before the dark nights of the soul, while some get depersonalized, derealized, and lose touch with their emotions. Here are some of the reasons such a feeling goes with spiritual awakening. The spark that caused your dark night of the soul. While describing the dark night of the soul, we mentioned that several scenarios can spark it up. If your spark was a traumatic one, maybe you were betrayed, lost a loved one, or had a severe accident, and people who were to care for you were not there, it can likely result in your loss of empathy. The emotions which link you to them would be broken, and you grow sullen, being that you're in the dark night of the soul. Adding to the fact that you had to face the dark night of the soul alone at an early point of your spiritual awakening, you're likely to lose touch with emotions, because you believed, loved, or trusted the people whose circumstances led to your dark night of the soul, but you're likely to blend in with time. The task you are meant to fulfill now that you're spiritually awakened. On another occasion, emotional impediments cloud your judgment and actions, especially when what you need to do is something that relates to someone you have an emotional attachment with. Now, if your spiritual awakening requires you to step away from such people, or teach them an unforgettable lesson, you might be emotionally blank for that time, because your dark night of the soul will prepare you for such an event, making you lose touch with your emotions before you get spiritually awakened. Hence, once you have that awareness, you can easily do the needful. And after completing the task, your emotions would creep back slowly. Your experience in the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul is usually a sullen, lonely journey that would often require you to abstain from a lot of these as you scale through it. And some of the things you might be required to abstain from might be people you care for or that care for you. But even though you are in the dark night of the soul, you'll see the people who really care for you, doing all they can to extend care and tell you they're there when you want to talk or are out of the dark era. Such assurance can be a source of solid strength to pull yourself up. Only that is not the case for everyone. If you get into the dark night of the soul and the people who were there to care for you all disappear and allow you to wallow alone in your sojourn, in the end you can lose touch with emotions, because they were the people that you were emotionally involved with. And because they deserted you, when you get awakened spiritually, you're likely not to feel empathy or emotions. In conclusion, as we mentioned previously, pain is a part of growth. It tears down the walls that might have blinded us from the truth, and we get to see the things the way they are. But depending on your personality, the way you react to such a teardown and buildup of the dark night of the soul and spiritual awakening can have diverse side effects. And feeling emotionless can be one of them. So give it time. You'll be good in no time. It is just part of the phase.
I hope that you enjoyed the explanation. Please don't hesitate to share your thoughts and experiences in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon to be notified of subsequent updates. Thanks for watching!